Welcome on in, everyone. It's time for another episode of Hard Mode Oxygen Not Included with me, your host, Sergeant Saurus Rex. And a special guest star next to me, my partner Kira. She may pipe in and you may hear it, or she may not. We'll see.
Hello.
Where we left off, we had some very, very hot stuff in terms of magma to my right and below me. Additionally, this is going to be the real tricky part, is we've got some oxygen here that is now up to, looks like 164 degrees C. Is that the hottest we've got? Yeah, looks like it. That is way too hot for our duplicates. So we may be running into some problems. I think I'm going to need to try to dig out this way. In the meantime, we're going to continue building out our farms and continue to try to handle this temperature situation. We'll see how things go, and we'll take it from here. Okay, so far we've got a little bit of food, but yeah, let's do it. Okay, everybody. This is going to be a little bit more priority here. Thank you. And let's go ahead and continue to deconstruct there. Also at like a priority 9. I know we've got a food shortage. We also need to dig out everywhere. You see, here's the really complicated part about this, is things are really starting to get serious, as they say in this playthrough, and I think I'm alright, considering that even Gearhead Gaming's playthrough over there on his channel, he's streaming it, and he looks like he went and restarted a little bit earlier. And, you know, hard mode oxygen not included seems to be all the rage these days. I can kind of understand. Makes this game a little bit more stressful, a little bit more deliberate in the way you have to do it. But it also opens up a sort of an interesting question in terms of, like, what is the quote-unquote right way to play this game? And, you know, I don't know if there is quote-unquote a right way to play this game. Because it's one of the things, especially given the fact that you can always reload. I was really, really tempted, actually, given the temperatures that we've got over here. You can see by this little red stuff, it's way too hot for my duplicates here. It's going to be like way too hot in their bedrooms here in a minute. We got to get these temperatures under control fast, or else I'm literally going to cook my duplicates. And I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to show you all that. And I knew that it's like a pretty high probability, so if this was my own personal playthrough, and I wasn't sort of recording this for YouTube, chances are I would back it up, and not have to deal with burning these duplicates. And, you know, not build this triage cot and sort of show you all, you know, like, how this works and the process here. And, but I'm going to continue here and see how it goes, and see how things go. And hopefully things aren't going to crash and burn this episode, and if they do, they do, and in which case I'll probably start from the previous episode. Looks like everyone else seems to be focusing on hard mode, oxygen not included, with the hardest, quote-unquote hardest asteroid furthest to the right with the release is like Oasis, or Oasis. It's the map that is a forest biome start that is surrounded by what looks like massive amounts of basically sand, really hot sand, and it's a pretty complicated playthrough for sure. This has its own challenges, as I can see with my, you know, scalding super high stress duplicates. Good old Brooke is really stressing out here at 62%, or it looks like we may have to build a massage table. Yep, thank you, Kira. Forgot the word there. But in the meantime, we're going to continue letting them do the commands that I've already given them. I have to say, I'm really impressed by Klei Entertainment's stick-to-itiveness on this game. It's come quite a long way from the 2 years ago. And I have to say, I'm really impressed by that whole philosophy of, like, let's work on it till it's done and not call it launch. I mean, they were going to launch earlier, and then they pushed it back for even better biomes. And, you know, I was able to sort of help test there at the end and get some of that information out there, and I was really helpful. I was happy to do that. And I'm all about making a game as good as it could possibly be. And I'm happy to wait for the game to be as good as it could possibly be. If that means you miss your shipping window. Like, it's okay. It's only the people that... Oh... Queen Wallani. Yes, Wallani. I've been mispronouncing it the entire time. Queen Wallani is seemingly determined to put herself in a life-threatening situation here today. I mean, Wallenali is a good name. We may name a duplicate Wallenali at a later point. However, in the meanwhile, we're very close to digging out this area. But the good point is we've got this very low temperature carbon dioxide here, whereas we've got the very high temperature oxygen. So my hope is that I can send some of this high temperature oxygen sort of up into this area where I'm not really doing anything, and it will be relatively safe there. In the meantime, their bedroom is still not too hot. Maybe I'm gonna build another cot here. That's probably a good idea. Build a cot here and move Dr. Avery over when they're done. That, however, is low priority, so stop doing that. Work on other stuff. Like this. Or deconstructing that. I mean, so this is the sort of tricky part about building these vacuum walls, is the game's really not designed to do this. It's designed to give you a bunch of commands, not like, okay, do this one thing. Now I gotta keep an eye out and make sure my duplicate actually is going to do that. Come on, let's go. Do this. Apparently they're super busy. Oh, I earned another colony achievement. What'd I get? Bed and bath. Have at least one toilet in the colony and a bed for every duplicate. That seems like the sort of minimum requirement, but I suppose that's an achievement. Here we are. Looks like our food situation is getting more under control. At least the game's not yelling at me about it anymore, which is sort of understandable. Yeah, and the hot air has begun its movement, as I was hoping it would, which will help us for a little while. Yeah, and things are moseying along here. I still have some pretty highly stressed out duplicates, though. And this is ready. More deconstruction.
How can we make it less stressed?
Alright, so how can we make these duplicates less stressed is a wonderful question to ask ourselves. And one of the things that the game gives you right off the bat is a massage table. And again, a massage table is 3% stress per minute. It's not a ton of less stress. I mean, it is less stress, but not like the best way to deal with stress. But in the meantime, right now, I think it is probably our best way of dealing with stress. Because as we can see with good old Brooke here, high stress. Yeah, or we can try to get her morale up higher. Maybe that's a better idea now that I think about it. If we can get the morale bonus to plus 20% or minus 20% stress per bit per day per cycle, then we're even doing better than building massage tables. So in that case, let's go ahead and build ourselves ourselves a great hall, or at least a mess hall. And we could make that a mess hall for now by doing that. It's kind of superfluous. But no, I need it. You're right, I need it. It's not superfluous. I need a door there, and let's put a door there, and a mesh tile there.
Uh-oh. Okay.
And put a priority 7 on all this.
Trap that little.
Yeah, I'm not so worried right now about trapping the hatches or where the hatches are. Looks like we're back into food shortage range with 0 kilocals. However, nobody's starving right now, and we still have some. This muck root is You see, I've been thinking about doing a dupe camp series on duplicate movement, because this is probably, we're nearing at least my second episode here, where I've been trying to get my duplicates to dig out this buried muck root and harvest this mealwood for a while now. And I keep telling him to do it, thinking that, but not really thinking things through, because my duplicates can't actually get in there. They're blocked because this zone right here is only 1 tile wide, and they can't actually move through that. They can't exactly duck. Well, they sort of can duck. It's sort of a very tricky little set of duplicate skills, and they would be able to duck, but not from a ladder segment like that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to solve this by telling him to dig out that little piece of copper ore anyway. I'm going to tell him to dig out that piece of copper ore to like a 9. And then I'm going to tell him to build this tile like a 9, because that's super important that they do that. And now people are starting to starve to death. But we've got some food that is available to harvest, so that's good news. We're building away more of our wall, and we're going to be able to dig out those buried muck roots. So we're doing okay. Oh, and we're planting mealwood seeds like nobody's business. So we're pretty soon we're going to be happy as little clamps in hopefully not boiling water. Although, as I say that, the water still seems to be boiling on this side. But seems like a perfect time to tell them to dig out this. And let's go ahead and build this mate. Priority 9, priority 8. They're not quite, even though this looks like it's boiling, the water is flashing to steam, so they're just getting soaking wet here. Although Dr. Avery is doing things correctly. Yeah, doing things correctly. Good job, Dr. Avery. Building things the way I want them built. But we're gonna have to look at the priorities on these washrooms. Yeah, gonna up the priorities on all that stuff, because I'm messing around with some high priority big dig commands. One of the things with the priority system is you kind of have to be careful, because if you get a little bit too used to telling people to do things at priority 9, like do it now, then all of a sudden you're not doing your regular day-to-day like maintenance of the base tasks then either. And that's sometimes it's a pretty bad thing. For example, yeah. Look at me. Not doing what I say to do, and doing everything at priority 9. I'm like, do all this now, instantly. Priority 9. And I'm like, don't do priority 9. So, this is very much akin to my first climbing teacher, do as I say, not as I do, type of instruction. You gotta know the rules before you can break them. You gotta know and follow the rules before you can break them. The words of, Scalding Duplicates. Not good. Queen Wallenali is, yeah. Wallenali. Maybe I should just rename her Wallenali, and so that it's spelled that way. In the meantime, all my duplicates will just continue to scald themselves there. But all that for a little bit of muck root, I think it's worth it. Totally worth it. If it means people are dying, That's all that matters. I'm gonna have to build a massage table. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it soon enough. I think it's a hall. Yeah, now we have a mess hall. It's not gonna be able to be a great hall until I can do artwork a little better than I can do artwork right now.
Sometimes the priorities, people are scalding, so.
Yeah, gotta prioritize some things. Scalding people versus non-scalding people. Very important. Speaking of which, let's look at our vitals here. Okay, we got some hurt duplicates.
Oh, good old Brooke. Why is her morale?
Good old Book is super stressed out, like I was saying. Which is why I think we're gonna have to build a massage table and give her a little bit of a break.
What about the job?
Now, Kira's asking me about jobs and skills, and, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that.
Won't she have, like, more morale if she gets skilled?
No, so, right here in our skills tab, we have good old Brooke. I mean, so she is interested in, rocket piloting, so she would technically get more morale if I did train her in those things, but because they take morale, as I sort of discussed previously, they would it would not end up with a net positive morale for her. But I can go ahead and take this time to see when I'm gonna get new skills for some of these duplicates, and it's not gonna be for a little while, although it looks like Tiny Babyface is just about to level up here, so perhaps it is time to dedicate a little bit of research into fine art, as they say. Although I haven't, yes, Kira's favorite part of this game, the decorating. Although I have not yet built my supercomputer, or quite a few other things. So speaking of which, oh, I haven't even researched that either. Well, let's go ahead and build another building area, sort of right over here, and in that space, we're gonna start off, as much as I don't like building them, with a massage table. And we're going to put it right here, across the street from the sleeping quarters. Boom, boom. And just for the sake of really being, not incredibly efficient, but I don't know. I often, before I get my central power grid online, kind of like to isolate everything on their own manual generators. I find it, trying to limit, when you're limited to the little wire, and you haven't yet researched your, it's not the research tree, this is the research tree, and you haven't yet researched your power, so you don't yet have power transformers, you can very easily get into situations where you're browning out, where you're burning out cables if you're not careful, which is why I like to, like I said, put pretty much everything on its own little battery and its own little generator. That way, these batteries do lose power a little bit, and they do create some heat, but I really find that as soon as you can get bathrooms online and you can start smearing your heat around the map by moving it through water with sort of a radiant system, then you can start deleting it a variety of different ways. It really isn't that big of a problem. And I find it much easier to manage just having little generators for the first little bit of time. So that's my opinion, and that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, we'll see how this continues to go. Build more here. Digging stuff out. Dig, dig, dig. Building food shortage, high stress. But this wall is coming along decently well. And look, we have another trap of a duplicate option. Farmer, supply, operator. Ooh, wow. Darn. Huh. Now I have to actually make a decision. Because here they're offering me a operating grease monkey. So this is plus... This ends up with a net of plus 10 in operating, which gives them 100% more machining speed, which is pretty darn good. That being said, I'm still under a food shortage. I still have stress problems. I don't know if taking on another duplicate is really what I want to be doing right now. A little bit more labor might be nice. Unfortunately, this duplicate is anemic. So, I don't know. Should I flip a coin? What do you think, Kira?
4,000 kilocalories.
I only have 4,000 kilocalories, so that's only enough food to feed 2 duplicates. And I already have 4 duplicates, so adding another duplicate... Yeah, no, I think I'm going to... responsible decision. Reject all. Even though that could have been a really good duplicate, in my opinion. I like my duplicate specialized. Could have been a good duplicate. Decided duplicate instead.
I think that's right.
Yep. I also think I made the right choice.
Fair enough.
Yep, soon enough I will have more food.
When do we get to the massage table?
So massage tables have a variety. Here we are, massage table. It has no power right now, but it has a couple of different options. You can set the break to begin once a stress reaches a certain level. We're gonna say once stress on any duplicate reaches higher than 75%, and we're gonna actually have it end at 50%. And we're gonna have it be public, or you can have each a duplicate assigned to their own specific massage table, and then once they reach these criteria, they will sort of self-assign themselves to self-assign to that massage table. So as soon as this massage table has power, hopefully good old Brooke will begin using it. And in the meanwhile, we can start getting good old Brooke's little attitude problem under control. Attitude problem, as we say. She doesn't want to be a team player. We tried to get her to cooperate.
Could be that she's salty.
It probably had nothing to do with the fact that we scalded her terribly, or that she was starving to death. Tiny Babyface has earned a new skill. Yay! Artistic design. Aesthetic design. Yes, aesthetic design, not artistic design. If you didn't know any better, you would say I would think I was dyslexic. But actually I'm dysgraphic, not dyslexic. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. Educate yourself. Here we have continuing life on Future Fortress on Planet X, Cycle 12. Reporting in. Let's see, anything particularly new or fascinating today? Nope, not really. We do, however, really need to make a research station. This is probably the least well-researched base I have come across in quite a long time. But, hey, I've had other priorities, as they say. And, my last, my sort of test run before I was like, okay, YouTube, here we go, hard mode, oxygen not included, wicked cocky sounding person, I know everything, look at my skills. Like I said, I played on Vulcania, and I guess I got really lucky, because I didn't have all this magma to deal with, and I was kind of near out in space, and had some decent resources, and it was just like, okay, I just sort of start the game. Like I said, I only had a little bit of magma down at the bottom to deal with. And one wall of vacuum is not that difficult to build, as I'm showing. It's slow going, but yeah, I was a little more focused than I have been on this one. And still, it's only Cycle 12. It's not like sitting here wasting 50 cycles trying to build this wall. I generally feel that some of the milestones you can set yourself with is if you have your food crops online and self-sustaining by cycle, I would say 30, you're pretty set. If your bathrooms are online by cycle 50, that's good. And by bathrooms, I mean plumbed washrooms. And then if you can get yourself like power and or electrolyzer set up by somewhere in the realm of cycle 100 to 150, 200, depending on where your main focuses are. Like I said, the game kind of really starts to balloon out and get pretty self-fulfilling. Whatever you really choose to do is what the game tends to be. Especially in the later modes, like we could decide we wanted everything to be perfect before we got to space, or we could rush to space right now. I saw one of the things that really made me interested in this game is I saw a YouTube video where a person pushed to launch a rocket in like 43 cycles. It was like, that's really impressive. It showed like, sort of was like, these are the minimum sort of upgrades you need. It sort of helped me focus some of my playthroughs and my survival modes. And I enjoyed that quite a bit. And I have to say, I've been like really overjoyed and super humbled by all of the support and feedback and wonderful comments people are leaving. I'm glad people are enjoying themselves and seem to be enjoying the series. I'm enjoying making these episodes. They're a little bit more focused than I'm necessarily used to making on some of the time. I often find when I'm playing Oxygen Not Included, I can just sort of like sit back, relax, and zone out for a couple of hours. Whereas, as you can tell here, this is much more of a conversation-oriented stream here, or I guess not a stream, but a video. And I have to say, as long as people keep watching, I'll keep making them, I guess. And I'm enjoying it thus far. I think we're going to need to up the priority on my farms, or actually, you know what? We're not going to up the priority on my farms. Instead, I'm going to start walking some of my talk here and turn down the priority on some of my other stuff. Let's up to 6, but these can stay at 9. That can be at 7. Let's move that to 7. That can also be at 7. And here we go. Oh. So we've continued on. We're here, cycle 13. Stress is becoming a bit of an issue. However, we've got our first massage table online, and hopefully it's going to be our only massage table online. Because like I said, my objective is to get us some artistically designed granite statue that I plan on putting right about here, and that will give us a nice, wonderful Great Hall, which will hopefully get us into plus or minus 20% stress per cycle range, which is about all we really need. Let's make a little bit of copper ore here, and then pretty much good to go. As we make our dupes get sopping wet in our little boiling pit. Where are you going now? See, this is kind of what you don't want, and why sometimes it's important to give these things higher priorities. Because I kind of don't want him moving and only digging one tile out of here, although looks like maybe he's trying to breathe. Yeah, it's a hostile work environment. I'm a mean taskmaster. I think OSHA has something they would like to say to me about building this particular section of my base. Yeah. Yeah, we're still in a really hot area here. Deconstruct priority 9. Here we go. Research complete. Artistic expression. Yeah. But that, unfortunately, unfortunately, is not actually enough, because we have decor plus 5, but even if we make it out of granite, which is plus 20%, it's not going to give us a high enough decor bonus to get us into a Great Hall. It has to be plus 20. Which means we must dig into our supercomputer and find out what that has to store for us. It's still yelling at me about my food situation. I know. It's all gonna be okay. Just gotta have a little faith. Gotta have faith. Okay. I'm starting to sing, and we're nearing the 30-minute mark again. So this has been another episode of Oxygen Not Included Hard Mode with your host, Sergeant Saurus Rex. Please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe if you're enjoying yourself. These have been pretty fun to make, so I think I'm going to continue to make them. Thanks for your patience on this episode. Things are continuing on, and lo and behold, I didn't need to restart. And people aren't even scolding themselves too horribly. So, not a ton of progress, but little by small. We've got a couple more buildings online, and we're going to have our Great Hall online here in a minute. And that should start taking care of our stress problem. In the meanwhile, good old Brooke will just have to get a massage here in the next episode or so. So, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see y'all later. Have a good night.